This webinar is hosted by Valigara. Valigara is an all-in-one jewelry e-commerce platform that lets you manage your jewelry e-commerce business from one place to grow your sales and reduce manual labor. You can manage all your product listings and inventory across marketplaces, optimize and streamline your online presence in websites, marketplaces, and social networks, and most importantly, free up 80% of your time so you can focus on creativity and growth. If you want more information about Valigara, please visit our website at valigara.com. And today we have three distinguished speakers. We have Christine Cherry Jackson. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Chris. It's Kristen. Hi.
Hi, Christine. Christine is a partner at 21 Jewelry Solutions, a specialty consultancy for jewelry professionals. Kristen started her career as a jewelry and accessories buyer and an e-commerce financial analyst at Nordstrom. She then went on to lead Amazon's US jewelry business for 3 years as senior category merchant manager, where she learned the inner workings of the jewelry category at Amazon like no other. And today we're going to get the privilege of having Christine review several Amazon jewelry stores and explain to us, what do we see as humans? What does Amazon see as a marketplace with their algorithms, etc. With us is also Rosemary A. Meza. Rosemary is a partner at 21C as well, and she has led several major successful brand launches, including Disney Enchanted, Keepsake, and Simply Vera Wang. And as a VP of e-commerce sales at Firestar, she helped traditional jewelry merchants expand into multiple global online sales channels. Rosemary brings a diverse experience to 21C customers, helping them identify the venues, merchandise, and other strategies that will drive sales and bring the greatest success for their specific product lines. And last but not least, we have Igor Nusinovic. Igor is the founder and CEO of Valigara Online Jewelry Manager. He's the leading worldwide expert in jewelry e-commerce and online marketing. And as a veteran, he has managed over 100 online jewelry stores. Igor brings over 15 years of experience in e-commerce, including as a manager in eBay, and he's also an advisor to the Israeli Export Institute and leading jewelry brands. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for your time. We hope to make it a very practical session to help our audience learn about Amazon, how to sell specifically jewelry on Amazon, because obviously selling jewelry is very different from selling other types of products, and you guys know it best. We'll start with a presentation by Kristen and follow up with the live review that we promised our audience of a couple of Amazon jewelry stores. And with that, with no further ado, I turn the stage to Kristen, and Rosemary, you can share your screen.
Thanks, Oded.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity to be here today and share some of our thoughts and advice on how to succeed on Amazon. You can go to the next slide. Great. So we, Rosemary and I have been working intensively with lots of clients for the last 3 years, helping them both launch Amazon third-party jewelry stores and also grow existing businesses. And we feel we have a lot of practical advice to offer. In this presentation, we're going to talk just both about overall strategy online and get into some really practical advice for you on how to optimize your Amazon store and really just get every dollar that you can out of your efforts on Amazon. So first, we wanted to talk a little bit about why Amazon has been so successful. They really have focused on 3 things that have caused them to jump to the head of the class as far as online marketplaces and just basically being the go-to place for shoppers who are looking for pretty much anything online. The number one is that they have the world's largest selection. That used to be their tagline. I'm not sure if it still is, but it's definitely still one of their culture within their corporate culture, one of their values. They want to be the place where if you're looking for anything, you can find it on Amazon. And so Amazon actually has two parts of their business. One is the retail side. And on the retail side, they function like any other retailer. They buy merchandise and they sell it online. And the vendors that sell inventory to them, the manufacturers, are called vendors. And then the other side of the house is called third party. And that is where, and third party is abbreviated as 3P in e-commerce vernacular. And third party sellers are sellers who sign up to sell on the Amazon marketplace and can add their products to sell as well. So actually Amazon retail is competing with third party sellers on the Amazon marketplace platform. And Amazon probably sells the top selling 10 to 20% of products, but leverages the third-party sellers for the long tail selection, the other 80% to 90% of the products that they just don't have the capacity to carry everything in the world. So they rely on third-party sellers to carry everything else that customers might be looking for. And that has worked really well for them in their ability to provide a huge selection for customers. Second is trust. So Amazon has built this review and rating system that contains authentic and unfiltered customer reviews. So if you look at other sites like Macy's or other major retailers, you'll notice that there might be 3, 4, and 5-star reviews, but there aren't any 1 or 2-star reviews. And that's because on those other sites, they actually feel that presenting what we would call negative reviews or even neutral reviews is going to hurt the sales of the products. But what actually ends up happening is that customers don't trust those platforms. You can go on Amazon and you know that you're getting the true customer experience about every single product. And that helps you choose wisely, and it helps you trust Amazon as an overall platform. And that's been a huge piece of their success. And the last is convenience. So Amazon has built out this global fulfillment network that from a seller point of view is called FBA, or Fulfilled by Amazon. So third-party sellers have the opportunity to send product into an FBA warehouse or a fulfillment center. And then as products get ordered, Amazon's staff fulfills those orders. So actually, it's really easy to shop from small businesses on Amazon because on every single product that you want to put in your cart, it tells you who's selling it and who's delivering it to you or who's shipping it to you. So by looking for products that are sold by entities other than Amazon, you know you're buying from another business, and most of those overwhelmingly are small businesses. And customers have just sort of come to rely on this reliable Prime delivery. Everything that's in FBA has the little Prime badge, and you can use the Prime filter to home in on the products that you're going to be able to get in the 2 to 3 day Prime promise. Next slide. I think we might have gotten frozen, Rosemary. She might have gotten frozen on the next.
I'm here.
Let me.
Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. So there we go. So for online channel preferences, we wanted to just throw up some stats for you and some metrics. So the number of people that are shopping online, the majority of them start their search on Amazon. Last year, it was 42% of people started their search on Amazon, and ended up buying on Amazon. And in 2020, it was up to 53%. So, and that doesn't even include the people that start their search on Amazon and buy elsewhere. Really, people have been trained that even search engines, if you're looking to buy something, Amazon to spot. And you can see here that 53% of start their search on Amazon and buy on Amazon. And then another 28% start their search on Google and end up buying on Amazon. So overall, that's over 80% of people that are really relying on Amazon as their go-to spot for shopping. So it's really we call it the 800-pound gorilla. And then when asked, who do customers trust most to give you the most useful product information or recommendations? Most people say, again, Amazon. Google is not as good as providing robust information, even in their shopping area. It's linking to other sites, and the information presented right on Google isn't that great. It is a good spot to, again, find things that are maybe a needle in a haystack, but Amazon, again, is just very much trusted by shoppers. And then lastly, when customers were asked between similar products online, which of the following has driven you to spring for a higher priced option? Reviews is at the top of the list. And this is another way that Amazon really just knocks it out of the park with their review system. And the second thing I want to bring up here is that it's a brand name that you trust that drives a higher purchase. But honestly, Amazon is that name that customers trust. And then the third reason here, the reduced shipping cost. Amazon at this point, I think, has over 60% of their customers are Prime members, and that drives well over 80% of purchases in reports that I've read recently. So, all of those Prime customers are taking advantage of the free shipping. And so between the top three things on this list, Amazon is just a clear winner. And the thing to note here is that better reviews support higher ticket prices. So, where there are 5 items that come up in a search result for a customer's product search on Amazon, if there is one that has solid 5 or 4.5 star rating, customers are willing to spend more on that product. So as we noted, Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and it is definitely the most trusted brand for online shopping. In 2020, we saw Amazon's performance. I mean, the US Postal Service couldn't deliver things properly, but Amazon was getting things to people when they couldn't leave their house for COVID during the pandemic lockdowns. Amazon just really became even more trusted than it already had been. And what ended up happening was that in the last half of 2020, there were 2.5 to 3 billion visitors per month on Amazon.com. And I want to note here that we are focused on talking about Amazon in the US here, and that is a .com statistic. .com being the US marketplace for Amazon, but Amazon does have marketplaces in, probably at least 20 countries by now, if not more. 59% of visitors to Amazon are direct traffic, where people type Amazon.com right into their search bar in their browser and go straight to Amazon. They're not coming from Google necessarily or other search engines. And like we talked about, 53 to 54% of online shoppers started their searches for whatever they were looking to buy on Amazon. And it was interesting because we found 2 different studies from 2020 that gave statistics, and they were within 1% point of 53 and 54%. So that looks like a really accurate statistic to us. And then Amazon's conversion rate, the percent of people that go to Amazon and then buy, is 5 to 20 times higher than the conversion rate on competitors' websites, another study that we found. And so based on our experience in the industry and knowledge of Amazon, we believe that if Amazon hasn't reached $1 billion in jewelry sales already, it's due to reach $1 billion in jewelry sales in 2021. As for the jewelry landscape on Amazon, Amazon carries jewelry from literally $1 or 99 cents to well over $10,000. Anything that you can imagine that customers in the United States or the world want to buy jewelry-wise is sold on Amazon. That covers all materials from glass to diamonds, from base metal to 24 karat gold. You can find it all. And customers are buying it all. Half of the jewelry sales on Amazon come from costume jewelry and half from fine jewelry. And when we're talking about fine jewelry, we're talking about sterling silver, gold, platinum, diamonds, gemstones, and pearls. The bestsellers list that you'll see are dominated by the mass market costume products due to the sheer volume of traffic and sales. Just like anywhere else in retail, the products that are cheaper are going to get vastly more sales than the products that are higher in price. And that's true on Amazon as well. A tiny minority of SKUs or products are from national brands. That's one thing that I noticed at Amazon, and that you will also notice if you browse the search results. If you type in anything like white gold sapphire ring, you will see very, very few items from brands that you recognize. Amazon is known for being a place where sellers, third-party sellers, can build their own brands and do so successfully. And then shoppers definitely are much more prone. There's two ways to shop on Amazon. One is browsing. So that's where you click into a department and then you maybe click in further and further in the little navigation tree to get into the category that you're looking for. And then Amazon will show you products. That's called shopping by browse. And then the other way is shopping by search, where you're typing your search term into the search bar. Vastly more shopping behavior is coming from search. So when shoppers are looking for what they want, they are typing in, like I said, white gold sapphire pendant necklace, for example. And those searches are focused on silhouette and materials and design, most of all, more than brands. All right, so what about the seller landscape on Amazon for third-party sellers? Well, there are tens of thousands of jewelry sellers on Amazon. There is a lot of competition. But only a fraction of sellers are approved to sell fine jewelry. So, you know, a small portion of those tens of thousands have approval to sell silver, gold, diamonds, pearls, etc. And in order to get approved, Amazon has implemented a special approval process. Other websites like Walmart or eBay have application processes, but Amazon is far and away the most rigorous. First of all, you have to pass a 10-question quiz based on FTC regulations and Amazon's special rules that they've set up for jewelry specifically, which are called the Amazon Jewelry Quality Assurance Standards. You have to get 100% score on that quiz, and you have 3 chances. In all of our years working with clients, we have never had a client, no matter how experienced in the jewelry industry, pass that test with 100%. And additionally, after you pass the quiz, Amazon asks you to send in 6 samples to be tested by an independent third-party gem lab. And which lab that is not disclosed. But what they do is they compare the lab results of what they tested those products as to an Excel spreadsheet that you send in that tells Amazon what you sent in. And if those results don't match up with what you said, and if you don't follow the rules for how to describe those products, which are based on the FTC regulations and Amazon Jewelry Quality Assurance Standards, they will not let you sell fine jewelry online. It's very important that you're selling and listing products in a way that is compliant with the law, so that Amazon doesn't get in hot water by allowing sellers to sell products with bad descriptions and passing them off as like say gold when it's actually brass. And so Amazon has this practice of approving sellers, and they extend that same practice to mystery shops. So every month they're buying jewelry online from sellers, and they're sending it into labs, and they're checking it against what the listings say. And a good portion of sellers that were approved to sell fine jewelry get suspended every year because of fails in the mystery shop process.
Oh, so Kristen, can we actually trust fine jewelry sellers on Amazon, because Amazon takes all this effort in order to validate fine jewelry sellers?
Overwhelmingly, yes. There are of course will be bad actors who try to find ways to game the system. But overwhelmingly, what has ended up happening is it's a pretty level playing field.
And is the scrutiny applied only to fine jewelry or also to other categories of jewelry?
There are lots of safeguards in place that Amazon has put in place to make sure that people, if let's say if they are describing something as a diamond, it's actually diamond. If they're describing something as gold, it's actually gold. So there are Amazon knows that if customers have a bad experience, they won't trust Amazon to buy jewelry. So it's within Amazon's interest to make this as trustworthy a place for purchasing jewelry as possible for shoppers. And they've put in as many safeguards as possible to ensure that that's the case.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So what does it cost if I wanted to sign up today to be a seller on Amazon? So first of all, to apply for the privilege of selling fine jewelry, if you want to sell fine jewelry, there is a $5,000 application fee. Now, Rosemary and I have, in our work with clients, have had success in getting the fee waived when we are able to connect sellers to the strategic onboarding team at Amazon, but most sellers who apply need to expect to pay that $5,000. That's Amazon's way of weeding out people who are not going to take it seriously. There's also a $39.99 monthly professional selling fee. So you can expect this sort of $40 charge to be billed to you every month by Amazon. There aren't listing fees. So unlike Etsy or eBay, which do have listing fees, and on eBay, they're especially important actually, Amazon does not charge you. You can list as many products as you want. You can list literally over 1 million products, and some of our clients actually have over 1 million SKUs listed. Once you get into ring sizes and metal colors and gemstone options and carat weights, it multiplies really quickly in jewelry. So that's a really big benefit on Amazon. Now, Amazon does take a commission when you make a sale, and the commission is applied to the product price only, so not the shipping fee. The commission is 20% of the portion of the sale up to $250. So if I sold a $50 item, I would pay a 10% commission. If I sold a $250 item, I would pay a $50 commission. And then if an item is over $250, whatever the portion of the sale is above 250 only has a 5% commission. So a $500 item would have the $50 for the first 250 plus 5% for the second 250. And then if a customer returns a product, that's an FBA. Actually, Rosemary, is it just for FBA or is it all products that there's?
This 20% is not correct. So it's only, so the next part of this is that there's an FBA fee. So that's the charge to house it in the warehouse of Amazon. There's a couple across the US, plus their unit charge, which is to pack, pick, and ship for you. It's $3.20. So it's a very small amount. And in most cases, the FBA warehouses are big cities. So cities like where I live in Chicago, we get next day delivery. So it's incredibly inexpensive, but that is not refundable if there is a return. All your commissions are refundable.
But it sounds like you need to have a math degree in order to do pricing on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Is there any rule of thumb, Kristen and Rosemary, where I say, usually I sell my jewelry for $1,000 a piece. How much should I sell it on Amazon in order to make pretty much the same profit? Is there such a rule of thumb, or is just wild thinking on my part?
It really depends on, because in addition to the costs here, which are the costs that you're going to pay no matter what for selling the product, and then if you choose to do FBA, no matter what, you're going to pay for FBA. There are some variables, the most notable one being marketing. So we recommend that sellers expect to spend between 5 and 20% on marketing. And we recommend doing marketing within Amazon's own marketing system, because it's very, a nicely well-oiled machine with a lot of options. So depending on how much you want to invest on marketing, and of course, how much your overhead is, and how much markup you want, like what's your profit margin that you're aiming for at the end of the day, it just really depends. So we would work with every one of our clients to figure that out for themselves.
Okay, great.
Okay, so what sets Amazon apart? Oh, we have a comment. It wasn't clear if the commission is refundable upon return. So I believe that for FBA returns, there may be part of the commission that's not refundable, but it's very small in the end. That, I don't know, Rosemary, do you want to talk about that?
So all of the Amazon commission is completely refundable. It's the FBA fees to ship to the customer that will not be refundable. So
Okay.
yeah, so the fact that this 320 that we built in, unless your products are giant products, this is, you know, the average size of a product to ship, pack, pick, and ship. This 320 is what most of our customers pay. So, but that will not come back to you. This is a typo right here. This 20% fee, this part, this is a typo.
All right. And I want to note also that that FBA fee includes prime shipping. So this is why FBA has made Amazon this mammoth that it is. There's no possible way that you could ship something like every single product that you ship out the door to people for $3.20, even just for the shipping piece, let alone the operational piece. And that's why, you know, some sellers literally have everything that they own in FBA. If they can afford the inventory, that's a great way to go. And so back to what sets Amazon apart. So first of all, the listings are really robust. There's the ability to add videos and enhanced content, and we'll go into that in a little bit. But the ability to add, well, Amazon is a little bit of a stickler about titles, and we'll talk about that in a little bit later too. But there are 2 sections of content. There are 5 bullet points, and there's a product description. So there's a lot of area for you to add information. Go ahead. FBA, of course, is this huge advantage. Nobody else really offers this in the same way that Amazon does. And they really, you know, I just ordered, I'm in New York City. We just had, you know, 2 feet of snow get dumped on us in the last 2 days. And my dog will not take a walk. So I just ordered dog mittens, like the little booties for my dog. And it was interesting because I placed this order yesterday when it was clear that our dog was not going to go take a walk. And all of the FBA shipping dates, when it said that I would get my packages, are all Saturday, Friday and Saturday. And this was yesterday on Monday. So Amazon built in a delay in delivery, knowing that they could not get that product to me in 2 days. So it's great. Like, you just don't even have to think about it. You don't have to think about whether or not you're going to meet your customers' expectations. When you send something to FBA, they take care of it. Not to mention, if you get a product review and someone complains about, you know, it didn't get here in time, or it got stolen off my doorstep, or there was nothing in the package, Amazon will remove that customer's review from your product as well. So they really do take responsibility for FBA. International expansion. So there's multiple ways to expand into other countries. One is that there's what's called the Unified North America account, which makes it really easy to sell to people in Mexico and Canada without even having to send products to FBA or do international shipping yourself. They will send them to the customer if you have the product in FBA. There's something called Global Express, I think, that allows you to ship all over the country, or world even, if your items are in FBA. And then, of course, if you want to open accounts in other countries and marketplaces, you can do that. SEO. So the SEO is really excellent. On eBay, just to give a point of comparison, eBay only looks at your title. If you want more than the whatever 80 characters in an eBay title, you can buy a subtitle to get more words for the purposes of search engine optimization, which is what SEO stands for. On Amazon, they automatically take all your product data, including what we call metadata, which are keyword assignments that live in the back end of the data for every product that the customer never sees. So it's not just titles, it's the whole product. Online reach. So what you'll notice is that if you've got an item that gets a lot of traffic, Google and other search engines will index that page, and suddenly that listing shows up in search results on Google as well. So the reach of your products extends past just Amazon. Amazon has a feature called brand registry. If you own a trademark, you can register that trademark with Amazon, and that gives you additional features and benefits on Amazon, such as the ability to build a store that showcases your product, and we'll show some of those stores a little later, and enhanced content, additional advertising options. It's a big benefit. And then you can also, if you're a custom jeweler, and everything you do is made by hand, you can choose to list your products within the handmade category. And also there's a kind of a listing called a custom listing, which is where you allow people to maybe set specific birthstones in a mother's ring, or put a particular engraving on the inside of a ring band, or let's say on a bar necklace or something. So these custom and handmade options are beautiful for jewelers that specialize in that.
Kristen, last month we had a webinar that was regarding Etsy, and Etsy is considered especially strong in handmade and independent jewelers. Do you
Right.
see a lot of independent jewelers going also on Amazon, or do you think that with the tough love that we talked about, there are some barriers for smaller jewelers to go online there?
Well, there are some barriers, and I would say the two biggest ones are just technological know-how and bandwidth to be able to fill in all of the data that's required for jewelry on Amazon. And the second one is imagery. So the handmade area of Amazon, like Etsy, had allowed the main image of products to be lifestyle images, like where you have like a a prop or a background, and you show the piece of jewelry on the prop or the background. But back in the fall, Amazon asked handmade sellers to convert all of their main images to the white background image that is traditional on Amazon, because they were pooling all of the listings together, and Amazon really wants it to look nice and have that white background for every single listing. They had to pull back that requirement because all of those handmade sellers just couldn't do it. Eventually, and I'm not sure if this is the case yet, but they will eventually require handmade sellers to only have white background white background images as the main image. Taking those kinds of images is technologically challenging for a lot of handmade sellers. It's not their forte. They make jewelry, right?
Sure.
Okay, Rosemary is going to take over for a little bit.
So key strategies for all marketplaces. So just in addition to Amazon, some of the things that are important is creating your assortment, making sure your assortment makes sense. Show what you do best is always what works best. So something that's called what we're calling curated merchandise assortment. Competitive pricing, something that you can price well and still make money. So talking about all of the different pricing strategies, making sure that's all built in, returns, just like a regular supplier would to a retailer, or a retailer to a customer. All of the builds that you normally build in, this is what goes into your competitive pricing. And then creating a reliable delivery is also really important. So what we love is the Amazon strategy of filling up their warehouse and using it as your own. We're going to talk a little bit about using the Amazon warehouse as a place to ship to customers directly too, and not really sell through Amazon. It's a pretty incredible tool that they have. Also, just offering excellent customer service, thinking like what a customer wants. Kristen talked a little bit about search engine optimization and how customers search. You wear a different hat when you're talking about customer service. What is the things that the customers are looking for? Do they want a broken box? Do they want a jewelry box? Do they want a poly bag? Do they want a thank you? All these things we think about when we're putting together excellent customer service. And then also thinking about your listings as a salesperson. Most of the time you have either salespeople going from, in your stores, or you have salespeople, if you're a supplier, traveling the country, which I know nobody's really traveling today, but the reality is this is probably the most important thing that we put together, is having someone to put together excellent images, accurate and complete specifications on your product. Measuring your product's really important. How does it look on someone? Taking pictures of someone wearing it. using a scale image. Some people use coins and rulers, all kinds of things to be able to share this product and sell it just like you had a salesperson. The key that we also say is, that you're descriptive and we're not promotional on our titles, and they're real descriptions. A journey necklace, what does that mean? And here in our industry, we all know what a journey is, but regular people wouldn't know that that's, a diamond necklace that, lays sideways on your necklace, on your neck, and it means something. Those kinds of things that, inherently we think are regular jewelry terms, regular customers don't know. We were talking this morning about martini setting. Martini means to us 3 prongs, but a regular guy doesn't know what that means. Does it come with a cocktail? So that's what I think is really important to note. Success factors for Amazon. So making sure that you have large enough selection. We want to have a robust catalog. 30 styles really isn't enough. You have to think of this as your jewelry store and a showcase. You wouldn't have one showcase in a jewelry store with 30 pieces. You would have 10 showcases with hundreds of pieces in those showcases, and collectionize. So that's really important to think about what you're going to put on your store, making sure you have enough. That it's well organized, and of course your product data is full. So all the questions that he or she is going to ask about the product, we need to have included. If it's a half carat pair of studs, how big is that going to look on my ear? Is that the size that I want? Those kinds of things, which leads to these excellent images. People that put lots of pictures, Instagram kind of pictures after the main white photo, are very successful. People want to see what the jewelry looks like on people. So that's why excellent images not only includes the first one, but the rest of 6 that you're allowed to add. Also leveraging the FBA capabilities. So we touched base a little bit about what FBA does and how easy it is to run. It is like memoing your product to yourself, but letting Amazon hold on to it. So that's something to kind of understand. But again, we have customers that ship from their Amazon warehouse to an Etsy customer, Amazon to eBay, Amazon to Overstock, all across. Amazon has become a wonderful logistics piece, a tool for you to use in case of snowmageddon, like I think New York got yesterday. So you would be able to ship no matter what. Following the Amazon rules. So this is a really important piece, is to Kristen's point about your listings, packaging, shipping, reviews, and customer contact, plus this mystery shopping, really, really important. They expect that you're giving your very best. So if a customer asks a question, you're answering them in 24 hours. If a customer gives you a review, that you're able to react to that. If they're saying the chain is breaking every time someone's getting it, or it's kinked, or just not the right length. It was supposed to be 18 inches. You said it was 18 and she's getting 16. These are the rules that they're expecting to follow, which are regular business practices. So they're not really asking for anything different. They're just asking us to follow through with it. And then marketing. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but as Kristen mentioned, we'd like customers to spend, if you're a brand new person to Amazon, you're going to expect to spend a bit more, because it's like finding a needle in a haystack. That Kristen mentioned, there's 10 to hundreds of thousands of jewelry stores. How are you going to let your store shine? This is what the marketing will do for you. And then staying in stock. This has been one of the biggest battles I think we've had in the last 3 years together, right, Kristen, is making sure that we find that amazing product, but then we only make 2. And we know that Amazon has the capability of selling 100,000, depending on the item. You have to think about it. I was lucky enough to sell to Walmart and Kohl's along the way of my career. And it was so exciting to get 1,000, 2,000 piece order. What's so exciting about Amazon, you have that same ability. It's just a slower way to the top. But you get there. You can get there. As long as the product is exactly what you said it is, and you're selling it the way you expect to sell it, you can win. But the key is to stay in stock. And then the dedication and expertise and monitoring. So this doesn't just happen with one person. I think that's one of the keys that we wanted to mention, that it is generally, whether you're going to hire a consulting agency, somebody like a Valigara, all of these things just make it easier for you. You have the expertise of what you do well, and we can help you with the expertise of putting this product on quickly, easily, and organized. I think one of the things that we've learned very quickly, the Valigara tools are incredible. You know, all of the parts and pieces and monitoring that, pressing buttons suddenly becomes your favorite thing to do when you have something like that in your access. I think the smart seller is leveraging tools for marketplace efficiency. Kristen, I think you're going to talk through.
Yeah, you got it. So like we said before, there are a lot of areas that you need to have expertise, and there are a lot of places where you can save money and just make your life easier. And so selecting tools that are going to benefit you, just to run through the list: inventory management, listing creation and updates, order management, marketing campaign optimization, shipping and insurance management. Like for jewelry, you want to make sure that your packages are insured properly. Requesting reviews, like Amazon has a particular button that's sort of buried within an order that you have to click to ask for a customer to review the product. There are tools you can get that automate that. And then product review and store feedback monitoring to make sure you're aware when somebody has given you a poor seller store feedback that you need to answer, for example. So just choosing these, and many of these can work across multiple channels as well. And Valigara being another system that's like that, where it can help you manage an Etsy store, an eBay store, a Shopify store, and Amazon all at the same time. And so Amazon, let's just scroll through this whole slide quickly. It helps you think like a customer. Amazon Business helps you think strategically. It's a forcing factor for operational efficiencies. It helps you establish a professional brand identity. It helps your retailers, if you're a manufacturer, sell easily with listings that are up to your standards. There's actually a way for you to build the listing for sellers to sell on if you're a brand owner. And it helps you police your brand against counterfeits. And of course, it gives you a 21st century online presence. And in COVID, it's an additional source of revenue. FBA can become your warehouse. If you have products in FBA and you have a customer, and you're in a lockdown and you can't have an open store, you can ship it to the customer from FBA. It's very flexible. Your store never needs to close. Customers feel safer shopping online. And for manufacturers, it's an ability for you to reach customers directly, D2C, test new products and categories before presenting them to potential retailers, and target via Amazon's B2B capabilities. All right. So I think.
Thank you, Kristen, and thank you, Rosemary, for a very insightful presentation. And I remind all of our audience that they can get in touch with Rosemary and Kristen on the 21cjewelrysolutions.com website. We promised the audience some live review of some jewelry Amazon stores, and we got a lot of requests from people to review their stores. We handpicked two that we think can demonstrate a lot of the tips that you guys can provide different store owners that can learn from those two stores. Rosemary, would you like to share the first one and take a first stab at reviewing it and saying what is good about it, what can be improved?
Sure. So I'm going to start out with this store. Is absolutely beautiful. The colors are amazing. One of the first things that you look at when so first of all, I want to show how you get to the store too. So if you're at a product, so this is one of the products that this store carries. In order to visit a store, you must have brand registry, and then you can click this little area here, and that takes you right to the store. And you can see that way, right? So here's your storefront. And the way that they've done this store, I think it's absolutely beautiful. Chris and I both thought it was an amazing looking store. One of the first things we noticed, though, was that it had this amazing brand, but it wasn't listed anywhere here on that front page. So one critique would be that I would probably want to put this great brand name closer to the top of the store, because you can see I'm on a laptop and scrolling. It takes a bit to get down, and you still don't see anything about that brand anywhere on the front page. And then I think one of the other things are too, and then you also have this amazing brand as well. Again, not anywhere near the top of where customers are shopping. So those are two brands that are in our industry pretty well known, but you nowhere to be found here. I'm going to go into this page here. I'm going to use this little guy because it did have quite a few reviews. This is really exciting. 288 ratings, and look at that. 4.5 stars, 5 answered questions. And as we looked at this, we're going to kind of take you through a little bit of what positives and negatives here. First off, the title. So, family drop pendant necklace, 18 inches. Kristen, what would any comments on that?
So, it has the word family. It doesn't have the word mother or father or child. So those are some keywords that I would possibly include. It doesn't have 925 for sterling silver, and people, especially from other countries, are used to searching on 925, not just the word sterling silver. It doesn't indicate what kind of chain it is. It doesn't say high polish. It does say drop. It doesn't say teardrop. A lot of people might be using that word. So I just tend to, for titles, you always want to include all of the materials and the keywords people would use to search for it. So they've got pendant necklace, they've got sterling silver, and family and drop are okay, but I would add a few things.
Right. Then we look at the picture of the model, and it is not, when you click on it, you can't, it doesn't
let you zoom.
Yeah. I'm zooming, so that's missing. So it's hard to really tell. There's no measurements here other than over here, which is nice. But as we learn, pictures are worth 1,000 words. It really is true here. Because not everyone understands how big 15.5 millimeters is, and the size dimensions. This is great. The packaging was beautiful, and you had a video, which we thought was really nice too. But thinking there could be a side view, and also what the lock is on the chain is also important, I think, for selling. So this 288 easily could be 1,000 if we just enhance this, optimize this a bit. In addition to, you have so much room here for improvement, right? There's so many more things we can include in this that is more search engine optimized.
Mm-hmm. We saw that the homepage is decorated with a lot of beautiful pictures of ladies and jewelry. Would you recommend having an avatar picture with the jewelry, or does a real person sell better in a product listing?
We think these kind of ladies sell better, and men, right? We think Instagram is really popular because of what it does. It shows real people wearing real things. So we think that while the avatar is probably the easiest, people relate to this more than they relate to, that gray silhouette. So, and also there's an emotive piece of this that if built in, if she's wearing, a pair of earrings, it looks so much better than just a straight person, stiff person, wearing the necklace. So we want relatable images, I think is really the words. I love this customer feel. I think it's terrific, but they're not wearing any jewelry. So, it would be great to put some jewelry on them. All right.
Igor, do you have any comments that you would like to add on the Jewelry Amazon store?
Well, I'm here more to listen, but in the item that I mentioned, actually I scrolled through the item, and what interested me here that most of the titles start with the brand name. So what I did, I also went in. So I said, okay, these guys try to promote their brand, which indeed makes sense. So then I went to Facebook, and I found out that the community is not that strong. So maybe it's just the beginning. And my question, maybe more to ladies, was: is it a good move here to start with to put the brand name just in the beginning, because this is the most valuable, characters in the title, because on the app, we see just the beginning of the title. So I'm not sure that this beginning is most optimal. This is what I had mentioned.
I would not put the brand name in the title at all unless it's a nationally known brand. So in other words, if this were a Swarovski branded product, not made with Swarovski crystals, but actually Swarovski brand, yes, you can put Swarovski at the beginning of the title. But honestly, Amazon has a technological function where they will put the brand at the front of the title for you. So I would feel comfortable omitting the title from the beginning and just letting Amazon's system add it where it sees, deems fit. And part of the reason is that when you have search results, you only have a very few number of characters. And the brand name shows up separately in search results in addition to the title. So why duplicate that? Just let the brand show and have the title be what is the made of, really. Do they want to know, is it sterling silver? Is it 12 karat, 14 karat, 18 karat gold? Is it platinum? Is it diamond? Is it cubic zirconia? These are the things that are the most important to help the customer identify if it's what they're looking for.
And another thing here related to images, when I look at this and the title, the combination, especially for pendants, some pendants are being sold with chain and some without. So I think that having this with chain or without chain, or making it more clear, is this chain optional or not? And maybe also alternatively having this option of offering different length of the chains, because people like different length of the chains, might improve here. Now at this listing with the 280 ratings, obviously, well, it's opposite. It's opposite. You try to simplify the listing to make it as strict also as possible. Okay, we have this 280, so you don't have to think as a buyer. There's just one option. So maybe this is the reason here, but it's something that definitely to A/B test and make more clear in the title, if we speak about the title. And images, for the pendants, there is not too much to photograph, I can say, but at least the back of the pendant, I would prefer to see, because it can be done in different ways. So showing it the pendant, the back side of it would be differently,
or at least the side, or at least the side, so you could see the thickness of it. You're right, Igor.
Yes, on the side.
Maybe using the video for that.
Because there might be some, yes, the video works, but not everybody will look at the video. So I would definitely expect to have it. Now, maybe there are also markings, and especially if there are markings, and Amazon has a very strict rules, right, on this, that you have to show all the markings. So if there are, then definitely you have to show this second side of the pendant. If we speak just about the images and the titles, so this combination must be very, very precise here.
Scroll down, Rosemary. Scroll down to so in addition to these bullets, there's up to 5 bullets that appear just below the title there.
And here
and then
we have only
there
4.
is what's called the product description. So every product can have a product description that's about a paragraph of text, up to 1,000 characters. Keep scrolling down a little bit. Go down to the A+ content. So the product description for brand owners who own a trademark with the US Patent and Trade Office can add what's called A+ content, which was formerly known as enhanced brand content. And so here, this replaces that paragraph of product description. And you can add images, a logo, text blocks, up to 5 different modules plus a logo can go into this. So you can see here that they're trying to answer questions both about the product and gain customers' trust in the brand itself.
Great. We're running out of time and we still have another Amazon store to review. Are there any other pointers? Of course, we can go for hours on a single
Go
store,
back to the store, Rosemary, and go into the Disney necklaces area.
At the same time, what I generally mentioned on this store when I scrolled through several listings, I found out that many rings are size 6, 7, 8, just 3 sizes, and other listings are just with 1 size. So it's I understand that there might be some limitations related to FBA, to how much you can store on FBA. You have to budget this, but let's say a ring with 1 size is a big question mark for me. I don't think that that's too effective to have it. So on the other side, this store has more than 1,000 listings. So I understand that it has good variety, but each listing, in this case, I definitely would recommend to polish a little bit. There, I even found when I took a look at the store before, a few items with 1 bullet. So I think that Christine will say, "Oh my God!" And it's very important to polish your data as you present it, because many people, especially on the app, they do not scroll below the bullets. This is the maximum that they will take a look. And if you just use 1 of the 5, this completely makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I want to notice that they didn't even include the a Disney movie of Aladdin. They didn't include Aladdin as a keyword. They didn't include Milgrain. They didn't include graduated. They didn't include what kind of diamond color and clarity was on the diamonds included in this product. And if you go back 1 page to the earrings page, I want to show you that in the store, they did not take care to make sure that everything is available. So can you go back to that earrings page, please, Rosemary? Great. So scroll down. So see how it says currently unavailable right there?
Mhm.
That's not a good practice. We want to always make sure that all of our products in our store are available. And that takes monitoring for sure.
Great.
Now
So we see
go over
that
to the-
even a great looking Amazon store like Jewelry still have a lot to improve if they put the focus on the different things that make an Amazon store tick and list their products better on the marketplace. I suggest, Rosemary, that we move to the second Amazon store. Thank you. So this is the Satya Jewelry store, and we actually have the owner of Satya Jewelry in our audience tonight. What would you say about this store? What does it do well, and where can Satya improve?
Sure. The first thing I noticed is that there's no way for me to home in on earrings, necklaces, bracelets, or rings. Those 4 categories are always going to be important, whether you have one of the tabs say, shop by silhouette, and then have subcategories for those, or you actually make those their own navigation tabs. That's important because that's basically the most important way that people shop. If I scroll down here, I'm seeing it's a beautiful page. They've done a really good job of showing 1 option on each. When you look at some stores, you'll see a lot of duplicates. Like, let's say that there's an earring that comes in 5 different carat weights. They'll put 1 of each carat weight on this page, but it ends up looking like the same item 5 times. I do see a lot of unavailable merchandise, which is frustrating to the customer. Like, why show it to me if I can't buy it? So those need to be removed. Here, I will notice that it doesn't actually say what kind of metal this is in the title. And I'm not even really seeing it in the copy. Scroll to the right. So, it says gold. Is that gold as a color? The FTC says if you say gold, it means 24 karat gold. I have no idea if that is actually what this is.
It's a gold-plated brass. I checked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you scroll down to the every jewelry product has product specifications. There's a link under the bullets that take you right to the product specifications. Keep going down. Here is the product specifications, and you can see that this is called brass plated gold. I guarantee you this is not brass over gold. So, there's more attention to detail needed to the actual specifications and how this seller is populating their attributes on the back end.
I
It
also
also
mentioned
does
that
give-
there is no description here at all.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this,
that's right. The product description was a
even if
very,
it's
very
not a,
like one sentence, maybe.
yep, even if it's not a content, but still,
Yeah,
yeah,
there it
if
is.
they're
One
not,
sentence of product description.
yep, so
So it's a
definitely,
lost opportunity to, they could put the words astrological or celestial, lots of other SEO words in here.
exactly.
Also, it's a double layered necklace with 2 tiers. Those words are not included in the title. That's very important. Layering is the #1 trend for jewelry that the JCK magazine identified in early 2020. Layering is the top trend, but they don't have that word here. And they don't tell us what the length is of the shorter necklace. Is it going to fit my neck if I'm a 16-inch neck? It says that the larger length is an 18-inch length, but it doesn't say what the shorter length is. These are the kinds of questions customers will have. What we want to do in these bullets and in the copy is 4 things: answer customer questions, include all the words necessary for SEO, gain customer trust, and make sure that we're compliant with all of Amazon rules and FTC rules.
I also mentioned if Rosemary, if you can go back to the store, and what I did as a buyer, I always think as a buyer. So I went to bestsellers, and then Christine, what you saw on the top, yep, here to the bestsellers, and what I found out is even worse. As you say, how many items are currently unavailable?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is completely a killer for the store. And then another thing, here are 2, and there are more. And if we look here, the whole line, and what really worried me much more, if we go to the top, so also here in what we see right now, many items are 3 stars. So this 3 stars is it's not okay for Amazon. It's no go, means it harms all the stores. So it happens that we get the 3 stars. I'm not saying that everybody should be perfect, but if this happens, I would definitely make sure not to show this, as a bestsellers. So at least before I run something, I do some measure, something to improve this average rating. So there are many things that can be done, but definitely we can see a lot of currently unavailable and many items with the 3 stores. I would, at least until they get better, I would remove them from bestsellers.
Right.
I understand that unavailable is not a bad practice in Amazon, but as a buyer, and certainly as a man, I'm thinking, wow, this must be a popular product. Can I get on some wait list in order to be notified when it's back? Is there such an option, Kristen, on Amazon or not?
I've seen it on some products, but not jewelry. So I don't know if they're planning to add it eventually. Sometimes they beta test things in certain categories or for certain sellers or products. I haven't seen that here. So there is this add to list button, so you can sort of bookmark it for yourself for later. Like the way I bookmark things is I add it to my cart and then I save it for later. But if I can't add it to the cart because it's not available, I can add it to one of my shopping lists here. I will say that another thing to note is that there used to be a way for sellers to reply to reviews. So if someone left a 1 or 2 or 3 star rating and complained, you could actually add a comment, but Amazon took that ability away literally last week. So there isn't a way to any longer reply to product reviews. But there, I believe, is still a way to respond to store feedback ratings and reviews.
Yeah, I just want to pipe in about the in-stock situation. So here's the other thing. So if this item is coming or you have an order coming on it, it actually, in FBA, the way it works is if they see that you've placed an order and it's supposed to ship, like, let's say the first week of March, it would say, coming first week of March, right here. So you might not be able to order it, but it'll tell you there's a time coming in. The other thing is too, this means, I think one of the big opportunities here and seeing, to your point, Igor and Oded, about, wow, it's really popular, but it also loses its momentum. no one sees it if it stays out of stock for so long. Yes, we're visiting the stores, so we are able to view it, but anybody searching for this type of earring, a bold gold with fringe, or however what kind of, how would you describe this one, Kristen?
Chandelier.
And right, chandelier,
Mhm.
earring, it won't even show up at the top, even though it has some great ratings, because it's out of stock. So planning your inventory is really, really key to a successful store too, because a store could be absolutely beautiful, which the Satea store is,
Mhm.
but if there's nothing to buy, it's really, it kind of limits how many times a customer is willing to come back.
Yeah. And just to expand on what Rosemary said, so Amazon has a very complex algorithm for what it shows in search and where it's ranked in search. I guarantee you that there are probably tens of thousands, if not 100,000 products that will qualify to be shown in search. And as of about 3 years ago, Amazon stopped showing it used to be that when you searched on white gold sapphire ring, it would tell you that there were 475,000 search results and you could page through them all. But starting about 3 years ago, Amazon started curating what it showed to customers within the search list. And the way it decides what to show in that list and where it's ranked has over 100 different elements in that algorithm. And part of the algorithm is what's the sales velocity and traffic velocity, not only of the item, but of the whole store. So this is why it's so important not to be going out of stock. If you're out of stock in something, it halts your traffic for that item and it impacts where it's going to show up in search rank. So even if you got it back into stock, let's say that it was the #1 seller on Amazon for a month, and then you were out of stock for 2 months. When you get it back in stock, it's not going to show up at the top of the search anymore because it lost that traffic for 2 months, if that makes sense. So staying consistently in stock is really of utmost importance.
Okay.
And I want to note the word chandelier is not on this item. You wouldn't be able to find it if you were looking for a chandelier earring.
The interesting thing that I mentioned in two of the stores.
For the Satya store before we wrap up the webinar.
So two things that here in this store. So it's interesting to me when I look at the sellers. So in this listing again, there is just one product image, so not too much to expect. But what is interesting for me, for the second thing, for both stores, none of them had some seasonable banner. So related. If we're now, if we go to the top, if we speak about the Valentine's Day on the top here, if we go, even on the banner, I believe that looking at this imagery then if I look at the banner at the top, if you go Rosemary, a little bit to the top, right?
Sure.
It makes no sense to me. I see that there is so much work invested in this store, and adding some call to action on this banner, on this store banner, would be probably, there are some designers in-house. I would definitely try to create some urgency, some call to action, which is related to the to the closed event.
But
no, I would not.
There are hundreds and thousands of products in those stores. Is there any automated way in order to make products seasonal?
This is why we are here in Valigara, but I'm even, of course, yes, you do need to do it also on the product level, right? This is why we invest all this hours and years of investment in Valigara. But I think this is here one image in the store, one.
So this is where I would
without having Valigara, you should do something about it with 20 minutes of the designer.
Yeah. So Igor, I would actually disagree with what you just said somewhat, which is, you have to remember that jewelry spans a very big range. Some jewelers just want to sell a lot of product, and that would be like Kay or Jared. They just want to sell a lot of product. Other jewelers consider themselves designers. Gucci, Hermes, Cartier would not have a Valentine's promotion. You know, they wouldn't. It's a luxury brand. So it really depends on the kind of store. And the one thing I might add to this banner is the Satya logo. We don't see the Satya logo, which is a beautiful logo, anywhere except just to the left of the homepage. And there's nothing on the banner identifying what store you're in. So that is the addition that I would make. Now on the homepage, where this big medallion is on the left, on the actual page itself, that might be where I would put the promotion for Valentine's Day. Not in the banner itself, but maybe on the page.
Yeah.
Great. Any other comments before we conclude? I guess not. So
I'm
again,
afraid to start because I always have a list of 20. So I'm
Yeah.
afraid to start.
I'll give you one or two, Igor, if you want to share.
And I'm all right. I know that we're behind the time, so I'm just
That's
sitting
fine.
with my coffee. Yeah.
Great. So first of all, let me thank all three of you, Kristen, Rosemary, and Igor, for your insights and the lovely presentation. I hope that our audience took a lot of knowledge and know-how and tips on how to think about setting up their Amazon store or improving it. It's definitely not a walk in the park, but definitely something worth investing in, both in the strategy and the consultancy and doing it with people who have done it before, and also in the side of the automation that could take a lot of the pain away. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentations. If any of our attendees have additional questions, I urge you to contact us, contact 21C Jewelry Solutions, contact Valigara, and we'll be happy to help you and even personally review your Amazon store going forward. Thank you all for your time, and I hope to see you again in our jewelry e-commerce webinar series, the first Tuesday of every calendar month. See you in March. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.